You know, it's only the beginning of 2025, and I'm already realizing that there are certain things in my life that I just need to get rid of. I know that at this time of the year, a lot of people have made resolutions. They're thinking about adding certain things to their life. But me, no. Things that I really need to let go of and release into the atmosphere. Now, some of them are financial things, and some of them, though, are maybe just a little bit more important. They're emotional things that I need to get rid of. Now, number 5 is quite honestly one that is an important one for me, and for my own well-being, I really need to just let it go. So there you are. This is what we're going to be talking about today. The things that I believe that I need to let go. And maybe you might start to consider yourself, what are the things that you need to let go in year 2025? Maybe we can discover them together. Maybe some of them are the same as mine. Or maybe I might put an idea into your head and you might think, you know what? I need to do that too. Because sometimes we just hold on to things, and quite frankly, they hold us back. So if you're interested in this topic, if you too have things that you would like to let go of, if you're curious to know what mine are and you want to know more, then you know what to do. And that is, don't go anywhere. Now, my parents, they left Jamaica in the 50s to go to England, because England, of course, as many of us know, had just been through a war and the country was still pretty banged up. And so they got quite a few immigrants to come over and to help them to put England back together again, let's say. So when my parents came over in the 50s, although they were needed, they weren't really wanted. So, it was really a hard time for them. Money was tight for us at the beginning, and we didn't have many things. And one of the biggest dreams that my parents had was to have their own home. And at the time, it's understandable, especially as we were sharing 3, 4, 5 families in one house. So back then, we didn't have the things that we have now. So back then, that dream of owning your own home was huge. And I remember that, I think it was in the 70s, late 70s, that my family, that my parents, they finally managed to save up enough money to buy their first house. And I remember how excited they were and how happy we were to have more space. We had a garden and it was really wonderful. And my parents, they were so proud of themselves that their dream had finally come true. Today now, things have shifted and things are different. And having a home, although it's wonderful and it's great to have your own house, but there are also other dreams that we want. And I find sometimes that I'm still in that mentality to dream small, if you know what I mean. To not have these great expectations, because at the end of the day, there's only so much that we can do. But the truth is that those big dreams that you have, somebody had them, right? And obtained them. The big house by the sea that you might want, somebody has them. Somebody dreamt about having it and they have it. That promotion and having that job that seemed so unreachable, well, somebody has that position, so why can't it be you? That expensive holiday that seems so out of reach, well, people go there every day, so why can't you get to go there? So what I'm saying is that this year, what I want to let go of is that dreaming small, thinking that I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to get above my station. I don't want to expect too much. Dream big. I want to dream big. I want to dream as big as I possibly can. I want to aim as high as I possibly can. I want to go beyond my imagination. This is what I want for myself this year. So I will most definitely be letting go of dreaming small. Now, I have friends that I have known for years, for decades. And although I might not get the chance to see them often, I know that they're there and that they love me. And they also know that I love them. And I know that if I needed them, they will be here in a heartbeat, so as I would be for them. But there are other people who aren't really interested in you as such. They just pop up every now and again when they're bored, or when they're lonely, or when they have something exciting to tell someone, but they have no one to tell. So you're the best thing that they've got. And they will just pop up and tell you about their lives and what they're doing, not really even asking about yours, because remember, they're not really kind of interested. You are there for their convenience. These are the people that this year, I'm sorry, I can't do it no more. I have done it for so long. I have held on for so long, because it's sad to let go of people, right? But sometimes it has to be done. And I honestly believe that there are some people that are supposed to be in your life for a season or two. And if they're not enhancing your life, why are they there? As hard as it is, they've got to go. So this is something that I'm letting go of this year. It's not going to be easy. It might even hurt a little bit, but it's something that I have to do. I'm all for peace. I'm all for growth. And this is what I believe I need to do for my own well-being. Now, when it comes to money, I am terrible. I can't budget to save my life. If I have money in my pocket, it burns me. I have to spend it. I don't know what it is. It's a sickness. I own up to it. My bag. I don't know. I have to wonder if I am really my mother's daughter, because that woman, she knew how to stretch a penny, and I am the complete opposite. I work so that I can get money, so that I can spend money and enjoy life. That's the way I see it. And it's crazy because it's a bit immature. And you have to think about a rainy day and savings. And I do, and I try to, but you know how it is. But the other day, I don't know why, maybe it was because it's the end of the year, I just looked over my bank statement and it came online, and I had it open on the screen, and I kind of like threw my eye at it, and I was looking at it, and then this thing just kind of like popped up at me, and I saw like Deliveroo, €6. Now Deliveroo is something that I've ordered food online about twice, I think. It's not something that I do often. So can you please tell me why every month they are taking €6 out of my bank account? Now, it's not a lot, but if I'm not using it, €6 add up. So that caught my eye. So I started scrolling down, and then I realized that, especially when I first started to do YouTube, I thought that I needed quite a few things. So I started subscribing here and subscribing there, and I started paying for this and paying for that. That now, quite frankly, I don't use. I don't need them. And to be honest with you, I had forgotten all about them. 10 euros here, 20 euros there. I mean, every month coming out of my bank account was a big chunk of things that aren't necessary, that I'm not using, and more to the point, I didn't know was there. And that was a bit of an eye-opener for me. It made me realize that, you know what, I need to stay on top of things more. I need to be more aware of things. And it's all well and good not being good with money, but I can't be stupid with money too. Times are hard now. We're struggling. I don't have that kind of money to be throwing away like that. So yes, this is something that this year I have to get rid of, all those hidden expenses of things that I don't need and that I'm not using and are of no benefit to me whatsoever. Now, I didn't think that I was controlling, but apparently I am, or that's what I've been told. And I guess to a certain extent, it's true. I do like to be in control of things. I do like to, be on top of things and make sure that things are done a little bit in the way that I prefer they would be done. And this came out the other day because my daughter said that she wanted to cook us a meal. And I said, okay, that's wonderful. And it's nice that I don't have to cook. That's great. And when she was cooking, I did realize that I was there saying, well, are you going to cut the carrots so big? And she said, Mom, I know what I'm doing. I said, okay, no, I'm good. I trust you. And then I'll be there thinking, but is that really what you want to put in there? And she said, Mom, please get out the kitchen. Please allow me to cook the food how I want to cook it. Because when you cook how you want. So allow me to do the same. So I said, okay, fair enough. You can't argue with that. And so I left the kitchen and let her do her thing. And I have to say, the meal was amazing. It really was. And if I'm honest, it was even better than mine. Now, don't tell her that. And I don't know if I'm going to ever tell her that, because if she knew that, I would never hear the end of it. But it really was amazing. And sometimes I realize that I just need to let people be and they will find their own footing and they know what they're doing. So yes, this year, you know what? I'm getting older and I'm tired. I want to relax. I want to have peace. I don't want to be controlling nothing. So yes, I will be sitting back a lot more this year and I'm going to let it go. Let it go. I'm going to let my controlling ways, apparently, I'm going to let it go. Now, this is a hard one for me, and it really shouldn't be, because it happened many years ago. It happened over 30 years ago. And it came to the surface the other day. I haven't thought about it in many years. I haven't. But it came to the surface recently because I was scrolling through Facebook and the person involved, their picture came up. Now what it was 30 odd years ago when I first moved to Italy. I lived in a really small apartment. It was nothing fancy, but at the time it was mine and it meant a lot, and I was happy in my home. It was a 1-bedroom apartment. And somebody, I don't know who, I cannot remember, like I said, this is over 30 years ago, asked me if I would be so kind as to allow someone to come and stay with me, because this girl, she was being let go from her job. I think, don't quote me on it, but I think she was working as an au pair. She was living there, But because they were releasing her from her job, she had nowhere to stay. And so they asked me if I would allow her to stay with me for a while. So I said, of course I would. I mean, I wouldn't want someone to be out on the street, so of course. Come to find out that this young lady, her parents knew my parents, and they went to the same church. Small world, right? And she was also friends with my family member. So all the more reason for me to take her into my home. And I did that. And what I had, I shared with her because, she was going through a hard time. Now, at that time, I was just starting out in my career. And I was working in different places, different nightclubs, nothing great, nothing amazing. Some of the places were a little bit shady, if the truth be told. But you know what? You have to start somewhere. And that's what I was doing. So for 2 or 3 nights a week, I would leave the house and I would go and I would work in these clubs. Come to find out though, that this girl, seeing me leaving the house every night, she was curious. She didn't believe somehow that I was singing. She didn't believe that I was a singer. So she went and told my family member that she doesn't understand how I can afford to have my own apartment. And she doesn't know where I'm going every night. I'm leaving the house at certain hours and coming back at certain time in the morning. And the only people who keep those kind of hours, yes, you guessed it, are women who sell themselves for money. So this is what she was going back and telling my family. Oh my goodness, when I tell you I was hurt, I was hurt. When I tell you I was angry, I was angry. And I was a little bit afraid too, because I didn't know what my family would think. Because to be honest, my parents I loved them to bits, but they came from the generation where everybody else's opinion had a little bit more weight than ours. So I was afraid that they would believe it. But I took the bull by the horns and I called them up and I broached the situation. And I asked them, did you hear about it? And they said, yeah, we heard. And I said, well, why didn't you say anything? And they said, child, please, we raised you. We know who you are. No way. No way would you do that. We raised you better. So no, that didn't even cross our mind. So as far as we're concerned, it wasn't even worth mentioning. When I tell you that I was relieved to hear it and I loved them for it, but it didn't take away the hurt. But although the girl, I didn't know her, I can't say that we were actually friends, I felt so betrayed. Betrayed that I was trying to help. I was trying to be kind. I didn't have to bring her into my home. And for her to do that and to go and talk to my family like that and to, parents, and it could have been messy. It could have been really messy. I really wasn't expecting her to do that. And it's something that I've held on to for many, many years. And I think the reason why I've held on to it for so many years, one is because it's ironic, because she then went on to follow the same career path as myself. And two, you know what? At the end of the day, we were young ladies, We were young ladies away from home in a strange country. All she had to do, since that happened, I have not seen her. I think I may have seen her once, 30 years ago. And although we do the same line of work, I have never come across her. And I think that it's something that, maybe not now, she doesn't care now, but I'm sure back then It was a choice that she made. She made sure that she avoided anywhere that I might be. And you know what? As we got older, all it would have taken, for me at least, was a phone call, a message on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever, to say, you know what? I was young and dumb. I said something crazy. I'm sorry. That's all it would have taken. And it happened. We were young. Okay. But for her to just ignore it and to never say anything and never to address it, that's why it's something. When I saw her picture the other day, it just brought up all these feelings. And I said, you know what? I have to let it go. I have to absolutely let it go for myself, not so much for her, because I'm sure she doesn't care and she's living her best life and she's probably not even thinking about it. And she probably doesn't even know the destruction that she could have caused. But for me and for myself and for my own sanity, I have to let it go. And that's what I'm doing this year in 2025. It's gone. Now, I've always been one that's dieted and I've lost the weight and I've gained the weight and I've done this and I've done that. But in 2011, I really started taking fitness seriously. And 3 or 4 years ago, I was at the peak, I think, the height of my fitness game. I was so in shape. I was walking 2-3 hours a day. I was so, and I loved it. Now, I wasn't thin because that was never been my aim. But I was in shape. I was strong. I was fit and I loved it. Now, not so much. Now, not so much at all. And there are reasons, I had problems with my knee. I couldn't work out. I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And there was Christmas. Oh my goodness. So right now, I am not at my best. But what I need to do is let go of the old me, the 3, 4, 5 years ago when I was fit, because I cannot keep comparing myself to back then. Back then was back then. Because even now when I work out, I was doing vigorous workouts and I was doing like kickboxing, I was doing Taibo, I was doing the whole thing, the whole works I was doing. Now, I have to be doing sometimes the workout in my chair because I can't stand on my knee for too long. And I know that the chair workouts are, they're pretty much the rage now. Everybody's doing it, all different ages and sizes and shapes. And that's fine. But knowing where I was coming from, sometimes it kind of me a bit. But I have to let it go. And I have to work with where I'm at now. That was then. That was great. I was in great shape. Wonderful. Now I have to work with what I have now and who I am now and the possibilities that I have now. So instead of sitting there and complaining and moaning and being miserable and thinking, oh my goodness, look where I am now, look what happened. I have to let go of the old me. But the last thing for now, because you have to take these things slowly, you can't just do everything at once, right? But the last thing for now that I need to get rid of, and that is those energy drainers. And those energy drainers are those things that I don't want to do. I know I don't want to do them. And if I did do them, they would have absolutely no benefit for me. But for some reason, I can't say no because I don't want to upset the person. I don't want to offend somebody. I don't want to be the one that always says no. So I end up doing it, going, taking part, whatever it is. And they drain my energy because I don't want to do it. I don't want to do them, but I just can't say no. So this year, I'm going to make use of my freedom words and saying no. And when somebody asks me to do something which I know in my heart I don't want to do, I'm just going to say, you know what, I'm sorry. It's not for me right now. No, I can't do it. No. And I need to say that more often. So yes, without a doubt, those energy drainers are one of the things that I have to get rid of in 2025. So there you have it. Here we are at the end of another video. You know what I've realized while making this list? And that is that even though we're letting go of things, we're letting go of things to make room, to make space for things that maybe will be even better. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and let me know what things are you letting go of this year. I would really love to hear from you, and I would enjoy reading your comments, and I would reply to every single one. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's good seeing you. It always is. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. But until then, be kind to yourself and to others. Take care. Bye for now. Ciao.